Have you ever caught yourself admiring someone you call a genius? Maybe an artist, a scientist, or I don't know, even a visionary business leader, and thought, wow, they just have that spark.
Mm.
Like it's some magical innate gift that, the rest of us just don't possess.
Right, that feeling of otherness.
Exactly. And then inevitably wondered if there's any hope for the rest of us to unlock our own potential.
Well, that's a question humanity has grappled with for centuries, honestly, and it's exactly what we're diving into today.
Okay.
Our deep dive, drawn primarily from a fantastic series in Scientific American called Understanding Your Inner Genius, is really here to challenge many of those long-held assumptions
Assumptions about what exactly?
about intelligence, creativity, and, yeah, that elusive spark of genius. We're going to unpack what it really means to be smart and how you can actively cultivate those very qualities in your own life.
Actively cultivate them.
Okay.
So let's unpack this. That sounds like a huge claim, challenging our long-held assumptions right out of the gate. So if we're rethinking genius, where do we even begin? Is it the common perception, super high IQ, or is there something else fundamentally flawed there?
It's fascinating, actually. What the sources show is how our understanding of genius has historically, split in two.
Split, how so?
Well, one definition, the older one, identifies genius with exceptional achievement, thing like Newton's Principia or Shakespeare's Hamlet.
Okay, the big masterpieces.
Right, these monumental accomplishments that everyone admires. But then the other definition, which kind of emerged with intelligence tests in the 20th century, defines it simply as a high IQ score, usually above 140.
The number.
Exactly. But here's the kicker. Our sources reveal these two definitions have little in common.
Really? Little in common.
Yeah. For example, Marilyn Vos-Savant, she had the highest recorded IQ of any living person, apparently. But her work didn't exactly inspire a new genre of science or art. And conversely, many truly exceptional achievers, people who created amazing things, don't even hit that quote-unquote genius-level IQ.
Oh.
It really makes you question if a number can ever truly capture that spark,
Yeah, absolutely. So it's not just about a score on a test. That's a powerful distinction. If IQ isn't the sole measure, then what is at play? What are we missing?
Exactly. And this raises a really important question. What happens when we do overemphasize that idea of innate brilliance? There's research from Sarah Jane Leslie and Andre Simpian that introduces this concept called the Brilliance Trap.
The Brilliance Trap, what's that?
Well, their findings highlight that academic fields which place more value on brilliance as this fixed innate thing.
Like you're either born with it or you're not.
Precisely. Those fields also tend to have fewer women and minority PhDs.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's significant.
It is, and it links directly to psychologist Carol Dweck's groundbreaking work on fixed mindsets versus growth mindset.
Right, I've heard of that. Fixed in growth.
Yeah. A fixed mindset believes talent is stable, it's fixed, so it leads people to want to constantly show off this aptitude and avoid mistakes.
Because making mistakes would mean you're not brilliant.
Exactly. But a growth mindset sees ability as, well, a malleable quantity that can usually be increased with more effort and better strategies.
So it's not just about being born smart. It's about what you believe and how you approach things. That kind of reframes everything, doesn't it?
It really does.
If talent isn't fixed, it means our beliefs genuinely shape our potential. But how do we then, translate that mindset into actual tangible growth, especially for something as elusive as creativity or those breakthrough aha moments? It sounds like more than just trying harder.
Absolutely. And this goes right to the heart of that age-old nature versus nurture debate.
Ah, yes. Born or made.
Right. You had the English poet John Dryden way back in 1693 famously write, "Genius must be born and never can be taught."
Okay, so team nature.
Definitely. But then, fast forward 2.5 centuries, and the French author Simone de Beauvoir countered with, "One is not born a genius, one becomes a genius."
Team nurture, then.
Exactly. And while our studies confirm genetics do play a role, Dean Keith Simonton found at least 20% of the variation in creativity could be attributed to heredity, including traits like, openness to experience.
So genetics isn't nothing.
No, not nothing. But the lion's share of genius, as the sources put it, is still accounted for by nurture, by environment, by effort, by strategy.
The lion's share. That's huge.
It is, and this is where it gets really interesting, because it means we're not just stuck with the brain we're born with. We can actually change our capacity for smartness.
Okay.
It shifts the entire conversation from, do I have it, to how can I build it?
Right, okay. So if we can cultivate it, How does that actually work for creativity? Is it just about like sitting down and waiting for inspiration to strike?
Oh, far from it. The core insight here from the research is that true creativity isn't about getting it right the first time. It's a deliberate, often quite messy process.
Let's see how.
Well, there's Donald Campbell's blind variation and selective retention theory, BVSR, later developed by Dean Keith Simonton. It perfectly describes it.
Blind variation sounds a bit random.
It kind of is, initially. It suggests creators hunt widely for a solution, exploring dead ends and backtracking repeatedly.
So trying lots of things that don't work.
Exactly. This involves what's called superfluity, basically, generating a massive quantity of ideas, even if many seem useless at first.
Quantity over quality, at least to start.
Sort of, because you never know which useless idea will spark the actual breakthrough. And then there's backtracking, which means returning to earlier approaches after you've gone down a dead end.
Okay, so it's okay to go back.
It's essential. Hermann von Helmholtz, a really prolific physicist, he compared it to an alpine climber who, not knowing the way, ascends slowly and with toil, and is often compelled to retrace his steps.
That's such a vivid image.
Isn't it? And Einstein also famously said, if we knew what we were doing, we wouldn't call it research.
Okay, fair point.
Yeah.
So essentially, creativity is often about getting lost and finding your way back over and over.
Pretty much.
It's not about a sudden download of brilliance, but about persistence through that uncertainty.
That's a great way to put it.
And what about those aha moments we all chase? Are they just random flashes of insight, or can we actually maybe encourage them?
Well, what's truly insightful from the research is that these aha moments aren't just random sparks. They seem to follow a predictable, almost cultivable pattern.
Really?
A pattern.
Yeah. Graham Wallace, back in 1926, defined these distinct stages: preparation, incubation, illumination, and verification.
Preparation, incubation. Like hashing an egg.
Kind of. Incubation is key. The takeaway is you can actually engineer these flashes of insight, or at least create the conditions for them, by consciously moving through these stages.
How do you prepare them? Well, the research suggests actively wandering the world with an open mind, gathering broad knowledge, really stepping outside your comfort zone.
Like learning something totally new.
Exactly. Even
Yeah.
taking up a new hobby, like the example given was scuba diving for a poet, something unrelated.
Okay. And incubation, is that just waiting?
Not just waiting, but sort of stepping back consciously. When you're stuck, studies by Cunios and colleagues show that people who tend to have insights actually prepare for challenges by shifting to an inward focus.
Inward focus, less looking outside.
Yeah, with less activity in the occipital lobe, that's the part of your brain processing what you see. So looking away, maybe? It also indicates that sleeping on a problem or stepping away from it and then immersing yourself in an alternative activity can help you unconsciously cultivate creative solutions.
So taking a break actually works.
It seems so. Even just closing your eyes might help. Apparently, visual stimuli can be distracting when you need that internal connection.
That's fascinating. So it sounds like developing genius, or at least high-level creativity, is this active, sometimes messy, but ultimately rewarding process. It involves broad exploration, even stepping away.
Exactly.
But what about our everyday lives? Beyond those targeted creative sprints, does simply, working hard, exercising, or being social actually make us smarter in a general sense? Does it boost that baseline?
That's an excellent question, because the answer seems to be a resounding yes. Beyond targeted training, everyday activities have a really meaningful influence on cognitive functioning.
Okay. Like what?
Well, the Scientific American series strongly emphasizes that physical exercise is critical to vigorous brain health.
Exercise, okay. We hear that a lot.
We do, but the specifics are compelling. Studies consistently show that moderate levels of physical activity can limit cognitive decline as we age, and specifically, aerobic exercise seems key to overall brain fitness.
Aerobic, like running, swimming.
Yeah, things that get your heart rate up. Kirk Erickson and colleagues, for instance, found that just an hour a day, 3 days a week, actually increased the volume of the hippocampus.
The hippocampus. That's memory.
Exactly. It's like your brain's central command for memory formation. And Michelle Voss's research, similarly, showed walking programs increased brain network connectivity, improving executive control things like planning and focus.
Wow. So getting your steps in isn't just good for your body, but measurably good for your brain, too. That's a great incentive.
Definitely.
What else plays a role in this sort of holistic approach?
Well, it doesn't stop there. Social connection is huge, too.
Being social makes you smarter.
It seems so. Getting involved in social groups both improves cognition in general and seems to delay the onset of dementia.
That's amazing. So staying connected is brain protection.
And maybe most surprisingly, our findings really challenge that romantic notion that innovation is achieved by rugged individuals working in splendid isolation.
Oh, the lone genius myth.
Right. As Alexander Haslam and colleagues concluded, it's actually problematic and unhelpful to separate the creativity of individual minds from the communities in which they flourish.
So we need each other to be creative.
In many ways, yes. Social identity plays a profound role, shaping both what and how people create. The example given was Cubist painters and their abstract figures, emerging from that specific group identity.
Okay, that makes sense.
Plus, just collaborative discussions with friends or colleagues can spark new ideas. And groups also play a vital role in the appreciation of groundbreaking achievements. People are more likely to support a creative project if its instigator is a member of their group.
There's a community aspect of validation, too.
Absolutely.
Right.
Even someone like Pablo Picasso, who once famously said, "Disciples be damned, it's only the masters that matter." Well, his work, as one Welsh painter put it, was fundamentally a collaborative exercise in reinventing the familiar. He didn't create in a vacuum.
Okay, this is a lot to chew on.
Uh-huh.
We've talked about how genius isn't just IQ, how creativity is cultivated through this messy exploration,
Right.
and how social and physical activity actually boost our brains. But I have to ask, isn't there still some underlying raw brain power that gives some people an undeniable edge? What about all those smart drugs or brain stimulation techniques we hear about? We're just overthinking something that could potentially be solved with, I don't know, a pill or a zap?
That's a very fair point, and it's certainly a quest humanity is actively pursuing. The research we looked at does discuss various chemicals, things like caffeine, nicotine, amphetamines like Adderall, methylphenidate, which is Ritalin, and modafinil.
Do they work?
Well, some, like modafinil, show a small but reliable effect on cognition in complex tasks. But, and this is the big book, but their long-term effectiveness or safety just isn't known yet.
Ah, risks involved.
Definitely. Risks like addiction, insomnia, or potentially affecting the developing brain in younger people. Then there's the whole brain hacking thing like transcranial direct current stimulation, TDCS.
Right, putting electrodes on your head.
Yeah. And while some studies suggest it might improve things like vigilance, reaction times, maybe even stimulate creativity, it's still officially investigational for medical uses in the U.S.
So not FDA approved for making you a genius.
Not even close. There's been a wave of media articles claiming that jolts to the brain can improve memory and bring out the genius in you. But these often lack rigorous scientific backing.
Hype over substance.
Often, yes. In fact, some studies have even shown commercial TDCS headsets making participants less accurate on tasks.
Oh, oops. That's not the goal.
Not quite. And then you have these rare phenomena like acquired savant syndrome.
Acquired savant syndrome that's fascinating and almost a bit eerie, where people gain skills after an injury.
Exactly, where artistic or intellectual skills suddenly emerge after some kind of brain injury or disease. It certainly hints at dormant potential or maybe an inner savant in everyone, but it's not something we can reliably or safely induce. You can't just, try to replicate that.
Right. Okay. So it hints at potential, but it's not really a blueprint for self-improvement. It sounds like all these potential shortcuts have some pretty significant drawbacks or unknowns.
Precisely. And ultimately, focusing on a pill or a zap kind of misses a more fundamental and, frankly, universally applicable aspect of being truly smart.
Which is?
Well, our sources delve into what IQ tests fundamentally miss. They point to something far more impactful for actual life outcomes. Critical thinking.
Critical thinking. Okay, define that.
It's defined in the research as basically a collection of cognitive skills that allow us to think rationally in a goal-oriented fashion, making reasoned judgments, basically.
And why is that more important than IQ?
Because, as Igor Grossman and colleagues point out, smart people do dumb things. High IQ doesn't prevent bad decisions. IQ tests, they argue, fail to capture real-world decision-making.
We've all seen examples of that.
Haven't we just? But critical thinking, that ability to reason well, is powerfully associated with wellness and longevity.
Wellness and longevity.
Heather Butler's research shows that critical thinkers experience fewer bad things in life.
Fewer bad things. Like what?
Everything from, academic forgetfulness, like missing assignments, to more serious things like building up credit card debt or forgetting doctor's appointments, just fewer negative life events overall.
That's a huge insight. So it's not just about what you know, but how you think about what you know and how you apply that thinking in real-life situations.
Exactly. And here's the crucial part.
Yes.
Critical thinking can be taught and improved.
So unlike maybe some aspects of raw IQ, this is trainable.
Absolutely. And the benefits have been shown to persist over time. It's not just a temporary boost. In fact, Butler's research found that critical thinkers actually did even better than those strong in just intelligence at experiencing fewer of those negative life events.
Better than high IQ people.
At avoiding bad outcomes, yes. It highlights that while traditional intelligence might get you far, critical thinking is what really helps you navigate the complexities and pitfalls of life successfully. So if you remember one thing from this deep dive today, maybe let it be this. True genius, or maybe just high-level cognitive function, it's less about some innate fixed brilliance that you either have or don't,
Right.
and far more about a dynamic, multifaceted process.
A process we can engage in.
Exactly. Embrace a growth mindset. Cultivate broad interests. Engage in that sometimes messy creative exploration we talked about. Prioritize physical and social activity. And perhaps most importantly, continuously work to improve your critical thinking skills. It's really not about being born a genius. It's about becoming one every single day through these kinds of practices.
That's a powerful and honestly incredibly practical way to sum it all up. It truly redefines genius from this exclusive club to, well, a journey that anyone can actually embark on through deliberate practice.
That's the hope.
It makes me think about how many people might be limiting themselves just by clinging to those outdated ideas of innate brilliance. Thank you really for breaking it all down so clearly.
My pleasure.
If you want to dive deeper into these fascinating ideas and explore the full breadth of research we've discussed today, definitely check out the Scientific American series, Understanding Your Inner Genius. You can find links and more details in the description wherever you're listening.
And please, let us know which idea resonated with you most in the comments. What's one thing, maybe just one small thing, you plan to do differently to foster your own inner genius starting today? We genuinely love to hear your thoughts.